Happy Warhammer Day everybody. There was a pretty good event today. There was a lot of cool stuff shown and I'm going to talk you through it really quickly so you don't have to go and look for it yourself. So to start off with, there's two new miniatures available today. There's a Primaris Lieutenant and there's a Vampire Lord called Anasta Malkorian. The Vampire Lord is only available in store, I believe, but the Primaris Lieutenant you can buy online. They're okay models. The Lieutenant looks like something that's been rehashed from Indomitus. The Vampire Lord, I'm not too keen on the Vampire Lords the way they are anyway, so I bought the Lieutenant, but I'm not going to buy the Vampire Lord. Now before we get into the miniature reveals, there has been a few announcements about things kind of related to Warhammer but not really. So there's a new calendar, that's fine, looks pretty decent. And there's scented candles. So for £14 you can buy a Warhammer scented candle, and I can only assume that they smell like Space Marine sweat or something like that. These are not for me, and I just don't think Games Workshop are being as careful with their license as they possibly could be. These are so far from the hobby, it is just, it's not even funny. They're just nothing to do with Warhammer. It's bizarre. But if you want to pick one up, there's a few different scents available. I believe there's Dark Angel's Tallow is one of them, but up to you. I wouldn't personally get them, but back to the good stuff, which is the miniatures, which is what we're all here for. Adam Troke and Eddie Eccles presented this Warhammer Day live event from a place that they're calling The Rock, which is their new TV studio, and I think this also bodes well for Warhammer Plus, because it's obviously tied in with that whole side of the business. The first reveal was Shadow Throne, and this was really exciting. They just came right out with it, and it's Genestealer cults, Custos and Sisters of Silence. But the main thing is, it's all set on Terra. So Terra has been infiltrated by the Genestealer cults, and obviously the Custos and the Sisters are trying to stop them from taking over. I hope they eat the Emperor. Custos are getting a new Codex, and the Sisters of Silence are going to be tied in really tightly in that Codex, so they're not going to be a separate faction anymore. It'll all be like, I think it was Talons of the Emperor, so they'll be in there. And someone asked if you could take a separate Sisters of Silence army, and the answer was you could, but it would be difficult and they wouldn't be very effective. There's a new Custos model as well. He looked really cool, different kind of helmet to normal, and he looked awesome. The pose was really dynamic. He was charging with his sword up, and as you know, if you've seen any of my videos, I really like the models to actually look like they're in a fight, so that was really good for me. Genestealer cults get a new codex and a new model, the Reductus Saboteur. So the Saboteur is a female Genestealer cultist, and what she does is she leaves explosives all over the battlefield for people to trip over. It sounded pretty cool the way it was explained, so I'm really looking forward to that. The new codex, it was explained that there will be a lot of new ways to play. You'll be able to set ambushes. If you catch a unit in a crossfire, then it'll be a lot more effective. So there's a lot of strategies that can be carried out with them apparently. So I can't wait for that, and they should be out before the end of the year. Oh, one other thing about the Custos, different colour schemes and factions play differently. So if you've painted your guys a non-gold colour scheme, they will play differently depending on who you've picked. So that's also good. Next up is the Maggotkin of Nurgle Battle Tome, which is just bringing them up to date. They've not had a Battle Tome for 3 years, so this is just bringing them up to scratch with the other armies. I'm not the biggest fan of Nurgle, but they do get a new model, the Rotbringer Sorcerer, and he's a big fly. He looked quite cool, but he looks the same as all the other Nurgle models, so like I say, I'm not a fan, but I know there's a lot of fans out there, including my brother. He'll be happy. So the Battle Tome will include Mortals, Demons and Slaves to Darkness rules in there, and it'll also have the Path to Glory stuff, so basically Crusade for Age of Sigmar. I got quite excited when the Blood Bowl logo came up on the screen. I thought there would be new teams or something like that, but turns out it's a completely new game. Well, not a new game. This is a game I used to play when I was a wee boy, Dungeon Bowl. It's like a cross between Hero Quest and Blood Bowl. It's a really cool game. I'm really glad they've re-released it, and it'll kind of I think it'll be like Space Hulk, where it'll be kind of a one-off. Probably be unsupported after that, but I don't know. I might have missed that part if they said that they were going to support it with other teams. It does look great, and there's no doubt in my mind I'll be picking this one up when it comes out. Next up, we've got Warcry Red Harvest, which is a standalone Warcry box. You wouldn't need any other boxes to play this. You get a rulebook in it, so you get the Dark Oath Savagers, and one of those guys looks like the Hero Quest Barbarian. Someone in the chat said it, but I was thinking it at exactly the same time. It's a very obvious copy, which is not a bad thing because that model's really cool. Then we've got the Tarantulas Brood as the other faction, and these are spider guys. They look like they've been wrapped up in webbing. The colour scheme that Games Workshop used is really good. I really liked it. It was all like greys and whites with a wee pop of colour. It worked really well. The main character is the one you'll have already seen elsewhere, but he's an awesome model. Can't complain at all, other than the fact I don't play Warcry. I absolutely hate spiders, but there's loads included in this, so you could have little bases of tarantulas as well. It's always good to get new stuff, so if you're a Warcry player you'd be really happy at this announcement. Next up is Warhammer Plus, and it didn't really tell us anything we didn't know already. There's 5 more episodes of Angels of Death coming. Apparently it's doing really well. They said there's tens of thousands of subscribers and it's a major success for them. So that's good that so many people are enjoying it. If you want my perspective on it, I've got 10 videos already. Some of them are positive, some of them are negative. I would do your homework before you subscribe because it's not for everyone, I'll put it that way. If you subscribe at the moment, you get an extra 2 weeks, so you'd get 6 weeks instead of 4 weeks. And if you're already subscribed, you can get an extra 2 weeks as well. If you're subscribed through your Apple account, you just have to watch because you have to apply for a code because there's no other way to apply it. So you need to go into the Warhammer community website, fill in a form, and then you'll get sent your code. Not using your Apple subscription if you're a new or current subscriber. Doing it the other methods, you can just go into your My Warhammer account and upgrade that way. Next up we've got Harrow Deep, and we've got Black Powder's Buccaneers, which is a pirate ogre gang. There's really only one ogre and his name is Gorlock Black Powder. There's 2 nobblers, there's a monkey with a knife in his tail, and there's a parrot, and that makes up the group. It's not to my taste, it's more like a quirky wee thing. Remember the crab? The monkey with the knife is kind of like the crab. They're generating a buzz through having these quirky wee models, which I'm not against, but it's not for me. Lots of people will really enjoy it, lots of people will do great paint jobs on these things, so it's a good thing. Last up is Jagatai Khan, and he's got a new model in the Horus Heresy character series, and it looks amazing. This is probably my favourite Primarch model. I've got a few already. I've got Angron, I've got Ferrus Manus, I've got Fulgrim. Jagatai Khan looks, he's a step above I think. Easily, he's the last Primarch character to be released, and he's the best one. So let me know in the comments below who your favourite Primarch model is. Is it Sanguinius? Is it Rabuti Guilliman? Is it Curse? I'd really like to know. So what did you think about Warhammer Day and the big live reveal? For me, it started off really well, kinda dipped when it got into the Age of Sigmar stuff, and then it finished strong with Jagatai Khan. I'll probably pick up Shadow Throne and I'll pick up Dungeon Bowl as well. So not too bad all in all. So I hope you enjoyed the quick roundup. As always, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.